Hello everyone, it's vndoom and welcome to my first YouTube video on this channel. I'm going to be designing a sort of channel mascot over here. As you can see right here on the page, I wanted to do a little frog character. Here I am using this Kuretake Zig Brushables marker, which I'm going to be using throughout this little planning sketch area. It's a pretty cool thing. It's got like a light side and a dark side. I really like it. I got it on my last trip to New York. So yeah, it's a little bit awkward doing this for the first time. There's a lot of awkward things in this video because it's my first time doing this, but bear with me. Hopefully we can get some better content on this channel coming up. So here I am designing this little character who is going to be named Hale. I knew I wanted them to be a frog. Like in the corner I wrote down the things I wanted from this character, which was to be a green frog with red eyes and be both round and angular. So I gave him this very balloon head on this very like stick figure body and with these big round glasses, which I felt really genius when I thought of them. I'd actually been working on this character design for a little bit. This isn't really me designing it here in this video. I actually tried to film this video before and it just didn't work. And it was going to be a little bit more tutorial focused, like here's how to design characters, but I'm not really a character designer, so I wasn't really even prepared to do that. Instead, this is more just like a draw with me, a little just drawing progress. But yeah, so I've gone through a couple designs for this character. I had just settled on this one before I started this video. I was still like working on it, so I finished it up, really polished him in this video, and that's what these sketches right here are. I knew I wanted him to be kind of like well dressed with baggy tops, tucked in, and with big shoes. Like I got Doc Martens, some big slip-on bands. Kind of dress a lot like me. And now it's on to sketching out the final illustration that I'm going to be painting here today. I didn't want to just repeat one of the poses from over there because I didn't think it made for that interesting YouTube. Instead, I'm doing a whole different pose here. Sort of, he's looking over his shoulder. That's what I'm sketching out right now, just really loosely, getting all the pieces into place. Yeah, it's not really that interesting. His head is just huge compared to the rest of him. I had a hard time there for a second remembering how like a frog's face is supposed to look. I almost started off drawing like an eye where like a human eye would be down near the center, because I usually just draw humans. I'm not really a person who draws these anthropomorphic animals very often, but I don't know, I just really wanted to do like a fun mascot for this channel and not have just like a little version of me, even though recently I was actually designing a little version of me too, who maybe that'll be next week's video. I don't know. Right now we're doing this frog. I'm just choosing another outfit for him that's really similar to the other ones. Baggy top tucked into a pair of shorts. He's got his free little fingers. I wasn't originally gonna have him just have 3 fingers because frogs have 4, but I don't know, this is a little bit easier to draw, and for a character who I might be drawing a lot and might want to have a low stress time drawing if it's gonna be for YouTube videos, like I just wanted to do something really simple, and I think it's fun. I think it makes him look like an alien, like he's some sort of frog alien from another planet. I think that's kind of fun. Oh, here I am lightening up the sketch so that we can head over to the next part and work on painting. And finally, the watercolors. I'm going to be using these Winsor Newton Artist watercolors in Naples Yellow, Hooker's Green, and Winsor Red. These are my nicest and most expensive watercolors, and these are the only 3 colors that I have them in. It's a pretty versatile set of colors though. With just a blue, I'd probably be fine. I really like using mixed colors anyway, so whenever I have a set of watercolors that has a lot of variety, it kind of gets annoying because I'm just gonna mix the colors anyway. I usually feel like when I use colors straight out of the pan, they don't work well together. I'm not sure why that is. I'm probably just really bad at colors. But so I like to mix. I spend a lot of time mixing, I realized when I edited this video and had to edit out all of the mixing footage, which was a lot because every color just needed to be very specific, and you will see the swatches on the left hand side of the screen just start to build up. But I started out with just a nice green color. The brush I was using, I couldn't find my usual brush, which is like just a regular water brush, so I had to use this brush of my boyfriend's, which I had never used before, and it's a little bit hard. The bristles kept splitting, which was really annoying and gave me some textures that I wasn't really looking for, but I made it work. I think that the colors came out mostly fine. The brush did dry out at some parts, like on the head and the face. It got kind of splotchy because I'm not used to running out of water on the brush since I use a water brush usually. But you know, it's nice to step out of my comfort zone for a moment, try something different. You know, I do have some regular brushes. I usually just use them for large washes though, so using like a regular brush for detail was a little bit new, and it's good to learn about it since regular brushes have a lot more versatility than a water brush. I just love the convenience of it. So I'm just laying down all the flats right now. I made a mistake and I started shading some things before deciding on a uniform shading color, which I really regretted, but it is what it is. I think the final piece came out okay. I'm doing some patterns right now, layered up on top of the yellow right there, and I like it. I'm glad that I decided to do 2 different pattern pieces because I think it adds a little bit more depth, and if there's something this piece ended up missing, it's depth. I did like the final painting, but I kind of really struggled with it all being very light and not having a lot of depth. And I think one of the reasons is because I started doing some shading and I didn't really have like my lights and darks planned out very well. I really need to practice my values because my art loses a lot of richness. Here I am using green as a shading color, and I'm really trying to get a lot of depth in here, trying to shade those further away areas. See, this is where I kind of regret it because I wish I had had the opportunity to use more green shading on the boots, and I didn't really want to layer it over the brown shading that I had done. So I kind of just let Sleeping Dogs lie there. See, here I am adding a lot more layers of the green onto the frog because he was looking really washed out. I'm kind of warming up the face. The earlier streaking and splotchiness of the face though really kind of cursed it. This video ended up being kind of far away, which I'm going to remedy in later videos on this channel, but I don't really regret it that much because I wasn't really used to using this brush and it just wasn't looking that great. It's almost a little bit better that you're just seeing it from far away, where you just get to see the colors and the shapes, and I like the shapes. I think I did well on those. I really love his silly hands. phone died and I had to go to my job, so it is now a different day with different lighting, and I'm gonna start lining this now. We're just using a Pigma Micron 05. I actually have not lined with microns in a second, so I'm not really that happy with this line art. Again, I couldn't find any of my usual art supplies at all. One of the reasons I'm doing this YouTube channel is because I need more encouragement to be drawing regularly, so I don't lose all my art supplies. I mean, seems like a good plan to me. So I tried to skip around a bit during this part because I didn't think the framing was as good this time, and I didn't like the line art very much, and some of it was really frustrating. Like, a lot of the stuff on the head was just really frustrating to watch. I was doing a really bad job. The angle was kind of weird. I wasn't used to using this as much. The paint lines were a little bit wonky just because I had been using the other brush. You know, this was a little bit of a challenge. I think that the lines look okay. They look like the lines that I usually draw, so I didn't do terribly, I guess. Like, I did as good as I can. I worked with what I had, and overall, I like how this piece came out. I think the pose is cute. I do like this character, Hale. I think I really fell on a good frog design. At first, when I sat down and was like, I'm gonna draw a frog, I could only think of Leonard from Line Friends, and so I was having a hard time doing a design that wasn't just Leonard from Line Friends. I had to Google some references of frogs to figure out how frogs looked, and oh, look at this fun bit. I'm doing washi tape now because I'm going to do a little background just to add some more warm tones to the picture. So it's not just his eyes jumping out weirdly. I usually do, in general, just like to do a nice contrasting background, a little square, as it's trendy to do. And so the pink just really worked out. I'm really happy with how this came out. I used to try and do these with like masking tape, and I would just destroy my whole picture. Like, my recommendation is not to use masking tape for this, because I would like try and get it to be as unsticky as possible on my jeans, on a window, on anything, and it always just came out terrible. Like, it always ripped up my papers, and I only use washi tape for this stuff, and I also run that over my jeans. Here's the good part. Looking really nice, and this is it. And here's the finished product. Thank you so much for bearing with me through this first video. I know I made a lot of mistakes and it wasn't the highest quality, but I'm feeling good about it. I'm looking forward to seeing what else we can do on this channel together. I'm hoping to upload weekly, every single Thursday, so look out for that. So next week, there will be another video. I've got some ideas in mind, so fingers crossed that we can keep this up, because it's something that I really want to do for me and my art, to get better, to grow, and to really connect with other artists and people who enjoy art. And shout out to PairPiano and DooPiano for the Pentagon piano covers that I used as background music.